Hi, my name's Mel and I am starting this vlog in an attempt to help me with my body issues. This ranges over a very wide variety of different issues, mostly relating to my weight, and me trying to find a solution that works. And I do mean one that works for me. I don't profess that this will be something that is going to become something for anybody else. This is really for me, but if anybody wants to join me in doing this, more power to them. Why am I doing it like this is the question. Okay, let's start with my history first. That's probably a better spot to start with. I have been overweight pretty much all my life. I really can't remember when I wasn't stocky. Interestingly enough, now that I'm older and I look back at when I was young, even when I thought I was quite fat, I really was just stocky. I wasn't really fat. I was just not the small child. And it is only in later years that I've come to think of myself as actually fat, overweight, large, whatever terms you want to use for it. So I was always very stocky. I wasn't very athletic as a child. I certainly didn't shy away from a bit of sport. In fact, my parents always insisted in my primary school years, that's elementary school for America, that we always had to have a sport. So there was always one sport that we were involved with, which was good. And I think that's a very good attitude that my parents had there. When I got to high school though, that would have been middle school years for America, I started to develop these areas and started to feel very awkward when playing sports, and my parents took pity on me and said I didn't have to play a sport anymore. That was okay. That really didn't cause any issues for a long time, but I certainly did develop more stockiness as I got a bit older, and it meant that I didn't have good habits for years later on. I don't blame my parents for that though. They started me off on the right track and I was the one who basically put my foot down. They could have forced me, but I would have just found ways out of it, so there was no point of them forcing me. My sister on the other hand, she found other avenues that kept her active, and that was good for her. I'm very, very pleased that she did that. We're now in the same boat though, so we both need to find a way to deal with our weight issue. It is an issue that is in my family, but my mother was never big when she was young. She was always quite small, very active in netball. Anyway, we're getting away from me. Must concentrate on me. That's what this is all about. So I avoided sport at all costs. Exercise, yuck, hated it all. I'm a reader, like my books. You can see them behind me. I'm a reader, I like doing art, I like doing sitting activities. And I don't necessarily eat accordingly. So, after I left university, where I did no sport then either, apart from what I had to do for teaching, I did through university, however, start putting on some weight, obviously, studying a lot more, less walking, I was driving to university, that sort of thing. So at university, while I was at university, I did what was called then the cabbage diet. It was a diet that was put out by one of our institute specialising people here, I think it was the Heart Foundation or something, for people who were going to have operations and to lose weight fast. That was the point of the soup diet, and I did it for, I would guess, something like 8 weeks. It was supposed to be only done at 2 weeks at a time. By the end, I had lost a considerable amount of weight, I would say probably 10 kilos or more, but I also couldn't eat the soup anymore. I was living off the little bits and pieces that you got extra apart from the soup. You're supposed to eat the soup for all 3 meals and then have these little extras. I was just eating the extras because I couldn't face the soup anymore, and my mother said that I couldn't continue doing that diet unless I ate the soup, and she sat me down with a bowl of it, and I sat there crying in front of it, and I could not eat it. it was cabbage soup. It was terrible. So I was officially off that diet after that point. But I'd gotten to a reasonably good weight and I was very happy. Didn't last for very long. Started putting back on pretty much straight away. I hadn't learnt anything from that diet. I'd just lost weight. So what I learnt from that lesson was that fast tracking, losing weight, doesn't change anything. And it's not about weight loss. It's about lifestyle. I learnt that lesson there. And I learnt it even better on my second stop, which was after I came back from Japan. I lived in Japan for 3 years. Wasn't too bad over there. I mean, no matter what, I felt big over there just because of being a Westerner, my bone, who I was, everything. I felt big, so there was not much I could do about it. Nothing was going to make me skinny there. I put a lot of weight on my first year, but the next 2 years were much better. I learned how to cook at home and stuff. When I came back from Japan, though, it was time and I was ready to lose a lot of weight. And my father and mother had just started Weight Watchers and I'd moved back in with them thinking it was temporary. And so I decided to join them doing Weight Watchers. And gosh, it worked. It really worked. We ate well. I didn't have to do a lot of exercise. A little bit of exercise kept me going when I got through my stagnant points and that sort of thing. But it worked. I lost so much weight. I got so skinny this time around. It was fantastic. I was very, very proud of myself. We didn't do it speedily, but we did it slow and steady, and it worked. Within a year, I was at a very, very happy place with myself. I'm very pleased that I did that, and it showed to me that not only was it possible for me to do this and live it, it showed to me that I was right, that it was not about doing a diet. Fad diets don't work in these circumstances. What you're not planning on eating for the rest of your life is not okay for doing this for the weight loss. What you're supposed to eat is what you're going to eat for the rest of your life. So I'd learned that lesson and I knew what I was supposed to do. Following that, my grandmother died, my cousin died, my sister's wedding came up, things happened. They're all excuses. I make excuses so much. We'll talk about excuses another time. So that was what happened to me there. So I did well, but it gradually started to come back on. I wasn't keeping it off. I wasn't continuing to count points, write down what I was eating, all of those things. So I put it back on, and by this point in time I'd actually moved out of home again, and I was living by myself, and I had a few friends who were very, very supportive of me in this respect, and I got active. Started Weight Watchers again. This time I signed up for myself. My mum was doing it before and my dad and I just followed. This time I signed myself up. I walked, I danced, did dance videos at home, I ate the right foods, I went to meetings, I talked to people, I told people about what I was doing, I made lifestyle decisions for myself and for the rest of my life, and I did well, really well. I was very proud of myself. I wasn't quite down to where I was the previous time I did Weight Watchers, but I was getting there. I was doing really well. I think I got down to 80 kilos when I moved to Sydney, and I was actually, even though I was planning on losing more and Weight Watchers was saying I should lose more, I had got myself to a point which I was actually pretty happy with. I was wearing clothes that I was happy with, and another few kilos I would have been fantastic, but it was okay where I was. So 80 kilos was good. I could make another excuse right now, but I'm not. I'm just going to say I started to put the weight back on. Moving to Sydney threw my life out of whack. I had a person living here with me in this apartment here as a share apartment, and that threw me out because I'd never had that experience before. I'd always lived with my family. We cooked meals together. New job was keeping me crazy busy. I'm making excuses. Oh my God. I'm just telling you my life. This is where I was. And I got my boyfriend. Yeah. Very happy about that though, by the way. We're still together. But yeah, and all of this combined together meant I put on weight. No, it didn't. It meant that I didn't stick to my goals. I didn't stick to my goals. That was the problem. And the weight put on, and I am currently at my heaviest I've ever been, which is one of the most depressing things for me. I've tried over the last year to get myself active. I have tried again and again. I have been in tears numerous times about my weight, too much to my poor boyfriend's problem. Let's just say he doesn't know quite what to do with me. But I'm at a place where I hate my body. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave that one at that for now. That's my history right now. That's what I've been through. Now it's time to look forward. All right.